What is the connection between illegal logging and civil society? It seems that there is no connection. Control of the forests is implemented by armed forest state non-governmental organization and other environmental structures by state-prescribed order. However, through civil society involvement, there is possible to strengthen the legal basis for forest conservation. This belief has the OSCE expert on forest conservation Frunze Safarian, who was conducting seminars discussions on this issue on December 19 in Kapan. However, the participants raised questions regarding the selected approach. What is the reason that the issue of illegal logging, which is discussed at the present moment here, is interesting for non-governmental organizations and not for state bodies, courts, prosecutor's office, police, Ministry of Environment and others? These people receive a salary, their cars, and they must solve the problems. Illegal logging of illegal fishing in general, everything is put on the shoulders of NGOs, that they will somehow be helpful. I ask you to explain. It's correct, we provide a lot of care to our nature, and we feel very bad when we meet such cases. But in all cases, these works must be done by state authorities. The role of NGOs and civil society as an oversight or control functions are great, irrespective of whether this control or oversight, you may specify definition as you want, will be financed or not financed, or it will be somehow encouraged or not encouraged by other organizations. It's a purely human values that are kept everywhere in the world. It's clear. In all over the world, civil society creates that ground or perhaps the chain of ground which will bring to further regulation of the issue or giving some solutions. During the discussion highlighting both the economic and strategic importance of the forest, the participants tried to identify the causes of illegal logging. During 2015-2016, there were received periodic alarms on large-scale illegal logging in our region. There was also raised the question that the environmental organizations are not able to clear it, because the delimitations between armed forests, Artsakh Forest and Zangezur Biosphere Complex (SNCO) are not defined. If we, for example, divide the mentioned number by 10, let's say every family uses only 10 cubic meters of wood as a fuel, as the norm. Turns out that the number that is sounded by the government is only enough for 2,500 families, which is a bit unrealistic. Firewood is used by the population more than the actual prevalence is shown. As the first and the second in the conditions of any forestry, the economy controls the oversight, reproduction, reuse, etc. The annual logging quantity of cutting areas must not exceed the annual natural regrowth, at least to remain the forest in the present situation. There were also sounded suggestions and ideas contributing to the preservation of the forest, such as production of briquettes from wood residues or replacement of furnaces used in everyday life with the clay furnace, the head of which is higher. During the meeting, there were also reviewed the necessary legislative norms, knowledge of which will contribute to the organization of legal logging and the forest adjacent to community administrative area, and implementation of monitoring by society. Is it possible to implement the control only with the involvement of the active citizens if the state levels are not concerned enough to resolve the problem?
Միայն քաղաքացիական հասարակության միջոցով կամ հասարակական կազմակերպությունների միջոցով
OSCE expert on forest protection. It's impossible to fully implement forest protection only through civil society or non-governmental organizations, whatever they may be interested in, no matter how active they are. Forest protection should be put on very practical basis by state institutions. First, it refers to armed forest SNCO and to forestry workers of its branch, and the second, to the relevant environmental departments. It is control implementing relevant structures on forest management of the Ministry of Environment.
բնապահպանության նախարարության համապատասխան անտարի գծով համապատասխան վերսկոչուն իրականացող կառույցներին։
Ինչու համայնքների
Why they are not implemented similar measures with the residents of communities to ensure their involvement into the process? Does it require great efforts?
մեծ ջանքեր է պահանջում։
Ուրեմն համայնքի բնակչության մեծամասնությունը անտեղ
Most community residents are unaware of forest conservation, protection, and utilization. It seems that for certain state institutions it's not profitable to enter into cooperation for the conservation of forests and suitable management.
չէ, որ նրանք համագործակցության մեջ մտնեն անտառների պահպանության եւ կարողայնային կառավարման համար։
One of the main goals of the seminar was to create a sustainable dialogue between NGOs and the forestry. Therefore, the second meeting was also attended by Forestry Kapan branch employee. Varam Martirosyan presented his vision toward the problem and the difficulties faced by rangers.
Ինչպես Հայաստանի Հանրապետությունում գործող բոլոր հիմնարկները, պետական այնպես էլ հայ անտառը, մասնավորապես Կապանի անտառությունը աշխատում է շատ ցածր աշխատավարձով բոլոր ես անտառապահ եմ, անտառապահը որի վրա որը պահպանում է որը եւ պահպանում է անտառապահը
As all institutions acting in the Republic of Armenia as well as in forest, particularly forestry, works with very low salary. Today the forester on which we placed all hope, who protects and will protect the forest, gets only $150 a salary. Sometimes he doesn't even get as much, and you will not find any working forester in any other country who will protect 1,000 hectares with $150 per month. Plus, if we count 800 trees per hectare, it comes out 800,000 trees must be kept. But if there will miss 2 trees, the salary will be lost. Can you imagine they are protected 800,000 trees? If 2 are cut, that person doesn't get the salary. Imagine, we don't have a place for sitting. Now we are working on rent, as the building a former factory of reinforced concrete constructions. Our technique is morally worn out. Whatever we got aid from institutional organizations. And if all the time we lapidate the worker working in such conditions, I don't say that you are lapidating, sorry, but did you see our NGOs? We have seen their work. They just do show which letter is the form of expression for their existence. It doesn't concern others.
Եվ աշխատում եք այսքան։ Հիմա եթե այսպեսի պայմաններում աշխատող եք, հա քարկոծենք, ասիկա, հա, չէ, կներեք, էլի դուք չեք քարկոծում։ Մենք շատ կներել մեր հասարակական կազմակերպություն, մենք տեսել ենք իրանց աշխատանքը։ Իրանք շոու են։ Անում են շոու, որը հետագայում, ասենք, ուղղակի իրանց գոյության մասին, խոսքս ասենք
They will also address the question to the senior forester about those often circulating rumors, according to which logging is mainly carried out for industrial purposes. Varam Martirosyan refuted the argument. I assure that officially there are purchased no construction materials as such from Kapan Forestry. There isn't anything like that. We don't have timber. All illegal logging is performed for people for having firewood. Really, friends, there is no construction material in Kapan Forestry. Even when we say oak, we don't have such big oak trees that will be used in cooperage or anywhere. There isn't anything like that. Today's seminars implemented in Kapan were preceded by 21 day course of development of skills organized for 45 employees of armed forest. The project was implemented by the financing of OSCE Yerevan office. If it's possible, introduce please the principle of project selection.
Ծրագիրը նախաձեռնել է կայուն զարգացում հասարակական կազմակերպությունը եւ Խուստուպ.
The program was initiated by Sustainable Development NGO and Խուստուպ NGO, and they agreed with the armed forces for the implementation of this program and discussion of these issues, and we just supported this process.
Խնդիրները եւ մենք բարձրապես աջակցել ենք այդ ընթացքին։
Ծրագրի թեմայի
How would you assess the appropriateness of the choice of the theme of the program? This means that this problem, which has been raised within the seminars, how much it's needed for our region.
Կարիքը որոշում է քաղաքացիական հասարակությունը։
The need is determined by civil society, and we realized it by their response, taking into account their concern. We have implemented this project.
Հաշվի առնելով իրենց կողմից արտահայտված մտահոգությունները դրա հիման վրա այս ծրագիրը իրականացրել ենք։
Սեմինարի ընթացքում լսվեցին տարբեր գաղափարներ, նախագծեր, որոնք շատ արդյունավետ են։
There were sounded various ideas and projects within the seminar which were very effective and which may contribute to reduction of deforestation, but which needs a lot of finance. As such, there was sounded an idea of producing of clay ovens, the heat of which is higher, or to create wooden briquettes, the dead leaves of the forest, small tree branches, all this is depressed and there is created a fuel with high heat. But the implementation of such program requires finances. From this perspective, what kind of solution can be nominated?
Այս ծրագրերի իրականացումը սակայն ֆինանսներ է պահանջում։ Այս տեսակետից ինչպիսի լուծում կարելի է առաջադրել։
Գիտեք, եթե խոսքը գնում է ոչ պետական, ոչ բյուջետային միջոցներից ֆինանսավորմանը, այս պարագայում պետք է ուշադիր նայել, թե որ ծրագրերը, որ կազմակերպությունները, որ դոնորները ինչ տեսակ ծրագրեր են ֆինանսավորում։ Յուրաքանչյուր դոնոր ունի իր ծրագիրը։
You know, when we speak about financing by budget funds, in this case we will have to carefully look what kind of projects are funded by programs, organizations and donors. Each donor has its own program, its strategy, and the finance by their strategy. There are things that are financed by one company, there are also things that are not financed by that company. What you have to mention is more investment project, because it requires the purchase of equipment, installation and further operation of purchased equipment, which probably will be carried out by state authorities. If I understood correctly, we speak about armed forests. There can be other versions too, and it can be in the result of public-private partnership, when the owner is the state, but the implementer is a private company. But public sector must have here the right strategy, and why not the armed forests too, because they can apply too. But it's not our case, because we don't finance investment projects. We can finance other projects, operational costs of NGOs that relate to the implementation of the program, but it must have raising component of very significant information. A civil society activation is more in OSCE's strategy. We believe that the involvement and the activeness of the public give very serious results, and for that we want the public to be informed, be active. We want representative organizations of civil society be more actively involved. We can finance such costs, but not the part that you have mentioned. For that we have to find organizations implementing investment programs that exist in Armenia and in Syunik too.
Կազմակերպությունները ավելի ակտիվ ներգրավված լինեն։ Այդ մասով մենք կարող ենք այդ կարգի ծախսերը մենք կարող ենք ֆինանսավորել, բայց ձեր կողմից նշված մասը դրա համար պետք է ներդրումային ծրագրեր ֆինանսավորող կազմակերպություններ գտնել, որոնք Հայաստանում կան։ Սյունիքում էլ կան։
Syunik strongly needs such programs. One of the reasons of large-scale use of wood in the province is also the circumstance that the majority of communities are without gas, and the farmer often cannot afford to buy firewood even by lower price, and this is the basis for illegal logging. In any other case, the forest must be protected. But for whom we are doing it if people are leaving their villages in the result of this protection? Հայրպի Աղաջանյան, Դավիթ Եսայան, Syunik Online.